Live, I think. So I wanted to come on here and have a little talk about what's been going on, my update, and it looks like there's a bunch of lag on my side. So it's going to be a little weird because I'm about 10 seconds ahead of you at least. And I want to see if this chat is working. Um, it's been so long since I've done like an official live on YouTube, not just uploading. Doing it from my phone is different from doing it on my computer. So I want to, first of all, say, hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? I have not been that, I guess, on my YouTube that much. And what I have uploaded has just been from trips and different things like that. So I wanted to come on here and just give you an update, but also talk about this be aware of energies around you thing because it's real. And I just want to give you a heads up. I hope I don't look as washed out as I appear to be looking, but I have this light that is so bright in my face. Okay, anyway, so first of all, I want to just tell you, you might be noticing a different background behind me. If you are not someone who is connected to me with my classes, with my Cindy's Insiders Club, which is a webinar twice a month, or something like that, you may not know I had to move again. And it's really weird how that keeps happening. It seems like every year for, I don't know, the last couple of years I've had to move, and it's just been something that's been a consistent thing that I'm not trying to move, but things happen and I have to move. So that has been a major upheaval in my life because that's not what I wanted to do. And I had just gotten back from a very long trip in India. So I hope that you guys saw that I uploaded a video yesterday, I think, or the day before, anyway, of our India trip. And it's long, but it's worth watching if you want to see what the trips I take people on are really like, because there's a lot in there. But I don't want to, just dwell on that. I just got back from that trip and I found out like less than a week later, I think, that I had to move. I wasn't ready to move. I wasn't looking to move. It was like the worst time possible, it seemed, but such is life. Long story short, I moved to this place. It's a very dead neighborhood. And I plan on starting to do more vlogs. I want to get back on my channel and do more vlogs like I used to do. And you'll see what I mean when I say I live in a dead neighborhood, because I will show you that soon. So, finally got settled in, got rid of a ton of my stuff because this place is way smaller than I'm used to. And you know what? Life is weird. Life has been really weird. The energies are really weird. So let's talk about this, being aware of energies around you, because it's really important that everybody realizes what kind of energies are around them. First of all, there's always something around us. So that's why it's important for you to do your aura work. Put your, visualize your aura around you, nice and full and thick and surrounding you, and making sure it's protected, because when you are full of your energy, it's harder for other energies to come into your energy. And you don't want to be susceptible to other people's or other energies, whether they're from people or things out in the universe, because there's plenty of things there. And so you want to be full of your energy and put a protective covering around it. just to keep your energy full. Now, if you don't do that, you will also be susceptible to illness. So if you're a person that feels super tired all the time, or you're sick a lot, or you've got, mental, not mental problems, but, your mind isn't clear, your emotions are out of check, your body's sick, whatever, most likely your energy's depleted. So you got to open up your energy and be in your presence. Okay, pull your presence into your body. And you say, how do you do that? Just say, I'm pulling my presence into my body, and feel your spirit coming in to every cell of your body, grounding into the earth and spreading out around you. Put a nice big full aura, whatever color you want to use, around you, and just make sure it's protected. Hey, I'm seeing some people in the chat room. That's awesome. Hi, Net Pathfinder and Bearhound, Bill. Anyway, so just make sure you're protected, because let me tell you a few ways that energies can be around you. Okay. There can be angels around you. Those are nice. I'll tell you a little angel story in a minute. There can be entities around you. An entity can be anything. It can be some nasty energy that some human created by being a nasty thinking person. It can be one that just happens to be out there, just a real negative energy. It can be people carrying energies with them. So, that's the thing. A lot of people carry energies with them. So what kind? Well, they can carry these entities that I'm talking about. They can, and you can pay attention to the way that they act. Like if they're really edgy and they get upset over really little things, most likely they've got an entity, because that's what entities do. They get irritated and they just really short. They can have beings. A lot of people have beings connected to them. So what do I mean by beings? Can be all kinds of things. So there's a lot of unseen energies out there. So there can be beings that are from other planets, other dimensions, could be deceased people, can be all kinds of things that are connected to people. And they may not know it. And they can be the nicest people or they can be the nastiest people. It doesn't matter. But through our DNA, which is what we are, right? We are the DNA of our parents. That's not meaning that we're just the DNA of our parents, but we're the DNA of our parents now and their past. So the whole family line, and that goes for any traumas that happened in the family line, known or unknown. It can be things that happened in countries from where your family line's from. They could have had a feast or a famine, or they could have had war. They could have had all kinds of whatever things happen in other countries. Past lives could even work into that stuff. But the thing is, you are your parents' family line from the very beginning. So whatever has happened in that whole family line, you are susceptible to that. So if there was I'm just going to give you I don't like people to dwell on this, but you just be aware of it. Just know I'm educating you. If your family line, I know that a lot of Latins and Italians have this, Filipinos have this thing where a lot of times they feel like they've been cursed. Like they think that they were cursed by their whoever in their family, or there's been a family curse because maybe they've had a lot of bad luck and that's just something that's in their culture. And so a lot of times they'll think that they have a curse. Now, thinking something can definitely create something, or they might actually have one. Okay, I don't really like to work with people with like that kind of curse stuff, because usually people who have the mindset of curses, it's hard for them to let go of it. Like they'll say they don't want it, but then they're always thinking that they're having one. So it's really hard to work with people that have that so embedded. But they might have one and they might not have one. And so if that was past, like, say nobody in their family talked about curses this whole lifetime, but one actually happened like 100 years ago in their family line, that's in your DNA. It can be affecting you. It might not be affecting you. DNA will affect you differently. There'll be 5 siblings in the family, and that will affect each. The DNA will be stronger in some ways and other ways for each person. So I'm just saying that there's all kinds of things that people carry with them, but I want to focus on the energies. I want to focus on the attachments, like people having beings. So I have a lot of clients, obviously, and I teach classes. So I have the opportunity to interact with a lot of people. And I can see when somebody is kind of acting weird. And, sometimes we just act weird, but sometimes we are acting weird. Okay. There's a difference there. And so I can see when there's a being that's manipulating the person. I can see that. And I can't just like, hey, you got this being manipulating you. They'll get pissed off, right? Like you just, it would be nice to be able to just tell people. Or all of a sudden, like you would know this person who's been, in your class with you for a long time. And, you know how they are. And then all of a sudden they one time have this really weird attitude. And so it's like, okay, that wasn't normal for that person. Now, we all have good days, bad days, different days. But, I'm telling you, I can see these things. I am aware of these things because I work with them all the time. I have a lot of clients that come to me with issues with, they don't feel right, they're hearing things, they're feeling things, they can't seem to get confidence, whatever. There's all kinds of things. And so I'm used to seeing things. So just know that maybe you can't see these things. But the way that you can know is if somebody just starts, acting different. And you're like, that's kind of weird. Well, you can give them the benefit of the doubt. Don't just go around saying you've got a being with you or you got this entity or this attachment. Give them, see if something's going on with them they might need help with. But if it just seems odd, pay attention to that. People have beings. I wish, this is why I'm telling you, because I want you to be aware that what you see in the physical is not always what's going on, inside. And so I don't want, sometimes you might feel weird. Pay attention to that. Pay attention to how you feel when you're around certain people, like when you leave. Did it kind of feel weird? Did it feel good? I'm not asking you to look for weirdness. I'm not asking you to look for beings. I'm not asking you to look for any of these things. I'm just saying be aware of it because the shit is real. Oops, I didn't mean to swear. Okay, so I can go on and on about this. And, okay, Bill's saying, no wonder he drinks. You can get people who drink can also are susceptible to getting beings because you're open to new dimensions. So when you drink, you open to new dimensions. That can happen. You want to make sure you're clearing your energy, doing, every day, like, okay, it's a brand new day. I'm letting go of any energy that doesn't belong here, sending it to the light, and bringing my presence back in my space, protecting my aura. Like, make sure you do your aura work because you don't want weird things coming in because you were drinking or drugs or whatever the hell else, because it does happen. That's why a lot of times if you hang out in a bar, you're also very susceptible to that. When I had my long-term relationship years ago, he used to like to go to bars after work. So when he'd come home and he'd be like passed out in the bed, I would be like saging him and ringing bells over him. And he's like, oh, like, what are you doing? I'm like, you're not bringing this weird stuff in here around me. So, just do what you need to do. Clear yourself. I mean, even if you don't drink, you want to make sure you clear yourself. I'm always clearing myself because there's a lot out there. Okay, so let's move on from this thing. You live, you die, and nothing else is really proven. You hurt from loss. That's true. I'm hurting from loss. So let's see. What other energies? So this is really weird. Okay, so there's been this weird energy force. Okay, let's see. Let me back up. You know how I talk about expanding your consciousness and opening to other energies. So because I see energy, I'm open to a lot of other energies. I lucid dream a lot. I get a lot of messages about my life in my dreams. I just saw an angel the other day by my bed it was weird because I was lucid dreaming and I felt during the dream, there was something right next to me the whole time physically in my real life. So when I lucid dream, I'm a lot of different places at one time and it's all happening and I'm aware of it all. And it wasn't until I woke up that I went, whoa, Archangel Metatron was just next to me. Okay, and I had just been talking, I had a vision, I had Archangel Metatron years and years ago show up next to my bed. I was sleeping in the middle of the night. I opened my eyes and there's this huge angel, huge, with his arms outspread. He was just glowing white. And I saw it and I closed my eyes because I was like, am I like dreaming this? And I opened my eyes again and sure enough, he was there. And his message was, everything's going to be okay. Stupid me goes to sleep. Like I could have been talking to an angel, but no, I went to sleep instead. I felt that same presence. So the interesting thing was a few days ago, my sister who passed away a year ago, it was her year death anniversary. My mom had asked me to go to the beach with her early in the morning to have a little thing with my sister. So we went and it was like still partly dark. It was like 6 a.m. And so my mom was doing her thing and I was just standing there and I kept feeling this big presence behind me. And enough that I kept turning around and looking like, what is that? Like I thought someone was there, but it felt really big, but nothing was ever there. So I was thinking, well, maybe it's Gwen, my sister, but it didn't feel like her because it felt really big. And I just really noticed it, but I didn't think about it. I knew it happened, but whatever. So when, was it the next day, I was lucid dreaming. That was the presence that was next to me. So it was Archangel Metatron with me at the beach. I didn't know it, but I totally recognized the energy the next day. So if you can be aware of energies around you, you can, you notice it could feel like a pressure. That's what it felt like. It felt like somebody, when somebody comes up behind you and you can feel them, you may not know who it is, but someone's standing there. It's kind of like that. You can feel that. So anyway, because I have access to this, I'm always spiritual journeying. The work I do is the healing work. So I'm always like, in that zone of out there. So it opens me more and more and more to this because I'm doing it all the time. With that comes weird things happening, energies happening. And it's not to say it wouldn't happen to you. Maybe you're just not realizing that's what's going on. But something strange has been happening for like about over a year. So I don't know if you guys remember when I was vlogging a lot before I stopped doing a lot of vlogging. That was about over a year and a half ago when I was at my other house. Not the one I just moved from, the condos, not that one, the one before. When I noticed some weird energy coming in that house about I don't know, I think the last 3 months it started feeling really weird in there. And I was doing a lot of clearing because I could just feel this, like, I don't know, it didn't feel right. I was really noticing it. And then it was really weird because we were going to stay and then we had to move. Like, this stuff keeps happening. And when I was trying to move from that house was trying to keep me, well, something was trying to keep me from leaving. So this is key. Something was trying to keep me from leaving. And everything I did, like, I should have been out of the house, but it kept like dragging on and on. It was ridiculous. It was like, why can't I get out of here? Like, everything was moved, like there'd be a last thing, and then something weird would happen, like the cleaners, like, I don't know, the sink got clogged, so all these bubbles filled up the whole kitchen, literally the whole kitchen. It looked like you would see that in a Lucy movie or something. And I was like changing a light bulb and it would just bam, bust right in my hand. Things were flying. Like, there was weird things that kept happening, so I would have to fix it. And I was like, I need to get out of this house. What? This house doesn't want me to leave. Something's stopping me from going. It was driving me crazy. It was so hard for me to deal with it. And I just wanted to get out of there. So finally, like, I was just like fixing everything. And I was like, I don't care. I'm going to, like, the minute I like get this last thing done, I'm locking the door and I'm dropping out the keys. I just want to be like not responsible for this house. The garage door fell on my car, like, in a few months before we left, I think 6 months, like literally just fell down on my Jeep, like weird stuff. So I finally got out of there and it was just like, oh my gosh. And then getting into the condo was like this huge, difficult thing. Like, they broke a bunch of my antique furniture. It was just like, it was like a nightmare. And the whole time I was in the condo, I loved the condo, but it was like, I couldn't work. Like, I was working, but not like I stopped my vlogs. I mean, my sister died, so that had a lot to do with it. But things just weren't like flowing like they always did. I mean, I was dealing with a lot, but there was always this weird kind of energy thing. And, I just thought, well, it's a new place, whatever. Okay, so let's speed up. We went to, so that was about a year and a half ago let's say January of the previous year that I moved to the condos, and I moved here to this place, I think 3 months ago. So we went to India in March, and all of us that went, you guys remember my Bimini trip when I was back at the other house? That's when another thing happened where I showed up to do my spiritual journey and nobody else made it. They all missed their flight and they were all coming from different places. And so I was the only one that made it to Bimini. Like, that was really weird. Like, what is going on here, right? And then I had a shark encounter on that trip where this shark, it was a baby, but it was still big. And it was like trying to get us not to go into this healing hole, which was in the water, obviously. And I just kept thinking that if I walked towards it, it would like go away. Not thinking like this is a predator, hello. And it actually came at us. So that was like a whole weird thing. And then, okay, let's go to going to India. We all we almost missed my flight didn't go at first to get to New York. Like, we were having problems getting there. Finally, we all met in New York. And then every flight to India was delayed, and it just took us forever to get there. And then we got there super late, just enough to like take a shower, and the next morning, like, take a shower, eat breakfast, and then start our trip, go to Taj Mahal. And then when we were leaving Delhi to go to our next place, Varanasi, we get to the airport and they're like, your flights are canceled and you have no options. And we're like, what do you mean we have no options? We have to get there. What are you talking about? Like, that was a really important part of the trip. We had reservations, all this stuff. They're like, sorry, can't do anything for you. Well, we ended up like finding a flight that had enough seats for us, but it was like 3 times the price that we paid. It was just ridiculous, but we got there. It was like some force keeps trying to stop us from going somewhere. It keeps trying to stop us, keeps trying to stop us, keeps trying to stop us. So after we finally got through that barrier, the rest of the trip, we didn't have those issues. But when we were trying to leave, we were delayed again. Our flight actually was canceled. It was like another thing. And so coming back, finally get home, like whatever, that's a whole thing. We just went to Bimini, I don't know, a month ago. And when we were leaving, our flight was canceled. And we had to stay the night because there's no more flights off this little tiny island. So something was stopping us from leaving again. The next day we got up, got ready, got back to the airport, delay. Oops, your flight is canceled. Again, we have to spend the night in Bimini, another night. Something's not letting us leave. I'm seeing my friends in Bimini and they're like, look at me like, I go, don't you think it's weird you're seeing me? Like I was supposed to be gone 2 days ago. And they're like, you're supposed to be here. And I'm like, okay, so I'm telling Bimini, what is it? Do you want me to just get a place here and live here? Like, why are you keeping me here? So after the second time, my friend Alma and Homer were there, and Alma, everybody else from the trip had left already. They got out fine. We just couldn't leave. Alma had to get back for her daughter's graduation, and so she was freaking out. So she asked, us, would you guys charter a plane with me to get out of here? Because we don't know if this plane's going to cancel again tomorrow or what's going on. And so I did not want to charter a plane. I don't like those little planes. I always swore I wouldn't go on those little planes. Those planes are very dangerous. But she was like with tears in her eyes, and you had to have a certain amount of people. So long story short, fine, we're going to take the charter the next day. So that night, it's like pouring rain, like the biggest rain. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we're going to, we need to get in our golf cart to get across the island, to get to the boat, to get to the van, to get to the airport. So the rain stops, but it's just like totally wet. So I'm out there and I'm trying to clean it off and get going because we're late, and the stupid cart won't move. Well, it's moving, but it's not moving. It's not backing up. So Homer's like pushing it to give it like a push to see if that'll help. It did. So we started to go, but it was going so slow. And we're like, we're never going to make it across the island. We're going to miss this chartered flight. And we're driving along, and I'm like, oh my, we're just freaking out. Stressing, freaking out. And then Alma goes, I don't know, but is that right? And she points at the gas gauge and it says empty. And I'm like, no, they did not give us a golf cart with no gas. This is ridiculous. Like, it was like everything that could happen. Luckily, I don't know how, that's probably why it was going so slow. It's probably running off fumes. We did make it to the dock. And then the boat's taking forever to get there. It's taking forever. We're getting eaten alive by these bugs. And we're like, oh my gosh, where's this boat? Where's this boat? Finally it comes. We get to the airport. Fine. We get there, and then our flight's delayed. Okay, this is a chartered flight. Finally, we do make it off the island. And I find out that my flight from Florida home is not only canceled, it was canceled. So I took a rental car and drove home. And they had to make completely new flights from Florida back to California. So then I called the airline the next day because I'm going to get a refund, obviously. And they're like, oh, well, your flight wasn't canceled. We just, we're not flying to where you live anymore. Like, that flight doesn't fly there anymore. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, you booked me on a flight. You can't just like not fly there anymore. But they did. That's what they did. So something was keeping us from leaving. This has been a theme for over a year. I didn't realize it till I had a dream. Like, I did not put it all together, But I finally had this dream, and there was something in my dream, and it was keeping me from leaving. The next day, I had another dream, and in my dream, something was keeping me from leaving. So I got the hint. It was like, okay, 2 days in a row, I have a dream. Something's keeping me from leaving. What is this? And then I realized something's been keeping me from leaving for over 1.5 years now. So that's, you guys notice when you have these repeating patterns happening in your life. Because I didn't even put that together until I had the repeated dream twice. And it got my attention. So notice when things are doing that. So there's this weird pattern, right? That's like trying to keep us from going to the next step. And I know when we were in Varanasi, trying to go to Varanasi, that was the most life-changing experience in India that we had. It was so intense and so life-changing, and so our vibration just was off the hook. So I know something's keeping us from that, which takes me to my next subject is the new world. And I've been talking about the new world on my YouTube channel, not so much lately, but I had put out some videos back in 2011, 2012 about the new world. And I was told by the Mayans 10 years ago that there was going to be a time when our planet started to have a separation. Now, it's not going to split in half or something like that. It's just the energy is shifting so much. So there's so many people that are raising their vibration, focusing on the light, and a lot of people that are in the dense energy, focusing on the dark. And what happens is when vibration gets so far apart, at some point it splits. So it's not that the physical world would split, because the world is the world, the earth is the earth. And the earth will do what the earth is going to do. I won't say it won't split. It will do what it wants to do at whatever point it decides to do that, as you can see, the natural disasters and all of that. But vibrationally, we are vibrational beings. We are energetic beings. And so I talk about those, beware of those energies, there's angels and there's negative energies and there's deceased people and all kinds of energies, okay? So wherever you are hanging out in your vibration, in your energy field, is who you're resonating with and who you're, interacting with in your life. So you want to notice if your life looks kind of funky or it's looking kind of good or what. Now, we all kind of have a container of what's going on, let's say just for instance, politically, all that crap. But the one thing that travel does for me is I go to these other countries. So India is halfway around the world and life looks completely different over there. People are completely different over there. Things are completely different over there. So that also happens in other countries and other areas. And within countries, the different areas could be different. But what I'm saying is, it's a whole different perspective. Most of you who are probably watching this are in the US or Canada or Australia. And, we think that this world is what we're seeing. And what we're seeing is a very small part of the rest of the world. And the rest of the world is focusing on what they're seeing. And so you have to take into account the whole thing and realize that when I go to India and I come back here, I'm living now in so many more dimensions because I've got this India and Egypt and Peru and Hawaii and Mexico and Bahamas, whatever I am, I'm getting an error message, so hopefully this is working okay. Whatever perceptions I have are now compounding upon my regular perception of just being here now. So because I have all of these other compounding energies, my consciousness is here and there and there and there all at once. So if you can even think about what that might feel like, my head is here, but my consciousness is like way out here, and it's doing all kinds of things because I'm connected to all of these different energies and these other perceptions and these other ways of being, where I can't just sit here and say, well, I'm an American and this is life. I can't just say that, because that's life too, and that's life too, and that's life too, and that's life too. And so I've got this incorporation of all of this life that is not just, this is what I do. You don't do that when you travel and you bring, you get to know people and you understand and you're taking in the energy. You become a different sort of being. So that stacks more energies that you deal with on top of things. So this new world thing, let's go back to that, because I'm like going everywhere with this energy. When the separation starts happening, eventually there's going to be, the separation keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger with all the weirdness that keeps coming out. And so what I've been doing with my students that are in my webinars is I channel the Seraphim angels, and the Seraphim angels are the angels who oversee planetary the planetary system. So they're seeing at a higher, more inclusive level. Not that the other angels can't do that, but angels all have kind of their different jobs. So I work with them in my webinars, and they told me about now it's time to make the new world a physical reality. And they told me that a month ago. And I was so excited to hear that, because we've been creating our new reality, but it's all been on an energetic level. And I just sense, I have this knowing that in this lifetime, we can see this new world. Like, I feel like it's going to happen. We're not going to have to die to come back to see it. It's happening now. And to me, that's super exciting. I just know it. I have a knowing. And when you know something, that's when you just know it. That means there's no doubt. In knowing, there is no doubt. So when I heard that we now, in my group, are focusing on creating the new world into reality, physical reality, I was super excited. And that's what I have been leading them through in our webinars. So we are taking it step by step by step on creating this physical reality. And we hold this space, and we also, we're not just doing it for us, like, oh, we're the only ones going into this. We're lifting everyone in that consciousness that belongs in that vibration with us to help get everybody up into that physical reality. It's super exciting. But it's really intense work, because just like I talk about, I'm here and I've got this India and this Egypt and this all these things, I'm also in this physical reality of this new world. And I am staying there and lifting up and having life align with me there. So I'm not going to keep dipping down and going back and dipping down and going back. I'm staying there, I'm focusing on it, I'm living it, and whenever you make a change, everything in your life has to make a change. Everything has to shift. So I am lifting whoever is in that reality to that level. So we're working for everyone. We're working on everyone's behalf to get this really into a physical reality state where we're all in it. Okay? So it's important for you to be aware of the energies around you, because the more you buy into lower energies, the more you buy into the drama and the negativity, the more you're keeping yourself anchored in these lower dimensions. No judgment. if that's where anybody wants to be. I'm not saying one's better than the other. You guys need to be wherever you need to be. I'm just telling you my update, what's been going on, how it affects, how the energies affect you, what to be aware of, and really start living from your heart. I'm not saying don't live from your head. You know, people say the ego in your head, like it gives them a bad rap. We need those things. But I'm saying when you do what feels right to you, rather than what you think everybody else is telling you to do, or letting people make your decisions for you, settling in life, oh my gosh. I always tell people don't settle in life, and I did it, and I'm kicking myself in the butt. I settled by moving into this place, and I've been miserable, and I'm getting over it. And it is serving a purpose because it made me get rid of so much things. And I didn't even have a lot of things because I have been downsizing for 2 years. But I'm telling you, I'm not saying bare bones, but I got rid of about half of my closet, my clothes. I mean, I'm down to like giving away my crystals. I'm not buying crystals anymore. I'm not buying stuff anymore because something's telling me, get ready, because I feel like I'm going to just one day leave. I just feel like I'm just going to leave one day. And I don't want to have like all this stuff. I don't want anything hindering me. And, you know, if you've been around me enough, long enough, if you've known me long enough, you know I walked away from my whole life in 2011 and I moved to Egypt, and I had 3 luggage and 2.5 of it got stolen on the way to Egypt. So I had a half a luggage when I got there of just clothes. I felt so raw. It was like the scariest thing in my life to feel like I felt like a void. I didn't even know. All I had was me. Like if you have nothing, you're forced to know that you only have yourself. And that's a really weird feeling. And I didn't feel like it belonged anywhere. And so it was really a hard thing. I felt like I belonged dead. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. And I certainly wasn't going to kill myself. I don't recommend anybody kill yourself. Don't ever do that, because you're going to find out that nothing changed except your body is gone. And now you're like kind of stuck in this weird space because it wasn't a natural way of going. And it's a really traumatic thing. I help people that do that actually on the other side. I help them to make a transition. But those that I don't know or I haven't run into, there's a lot of them kind of spinning out there. So don't ever do that. But I just felt like I actually didn't belong anywhere here. And I'm not saying like a lot of people go, I just want to go home. It wasn't that. Go home where? I didn't know. I didn't feel like I just had a place here. So that was a hard thing. But I just want to like get my stuff like down to a thing where it's not a big deal if I just get up and go someday. So I know I'm kind of just, I'm just trying to tell you guys to pay attention. Decide where you want your energy to be, what you want to feel like, what you want your life to look like, and focus on that. And don't get caught up in drama or negativity. Like sometimes it happens. It does happen. But don't get caught up on it any longer than you have to, and do the things that your heart is telling you to do. Because the more you resonate with who you are, the more you resonate with your soul. And our souls are all here evolving. Your soul came here to learn something and evolve. And so if you're letting other energies or people dictate to you, maybe that's something your soul wants to learn. But at some point, I hope you realize, like, you know what? I don't want to learn this anymore. I want to do what feels right to me. I want to set myself free. I don't want to settle. I don't want to stay in this anymore. Realize that you have choices, and it can be totally different. So I'm seeing lots of awesome comments here. And hi, Stacy. Hey, Homer. So yeah, I mean, I guess I'll leave it at that. I do want to tell you one thing though. So get this. I started another YouTube channel, and man, I had the link and now I don't know. Oh man. It's called, you can search for it, Understanding Your Life and Love. That's what it's called. I had the link, but I just copied it somewhere else, and I don't want to like start moving things around now because I might lose you. I was going to actually do this on this channel, but I just was tossing it around so much. And I thought, if I do it on this channel, I don't want all of that to like, not that it's a cluttering thing, but I don't want it to clutter up this channel. I want to do more vlogging, like I used to. Like I'm like really missing that, and I want to get back on here and do more of that. So my other channel, Understanding Your Life and Love, is going to be I'm going to be tuning into the energy of every astrological sign for the month. And I might do readings in between. But it's basically tuning into the energy field of an Aquarian or a Pisces or a Cancer, whatever you are, and doing like a monthly reading. But I'm going to do it from an energetic standpoint. So I'll be using my light activation healing to tune into the energy field of each astrology sign and doing like a heads up for that month, for each month. And I'll also, I might do some cards, I'm not sure. But I will be doing love readings if I feel guided to do that. I'll probably be addressing career, all things of life and love. And so I hope you guys will go and subscribe to that channel, Understanding Your Life and Love. I put it in the chat room. Understanding Your Life and Love. I will, once this video loads onto my YouTube, I will put the link in the comments. Please subscribe there. Like the videos, share the videos, hit the subscribe, the bell. Hit the bell so you get the notifications when I'm going live and when I upload. And help me to build that channel, because I've been wanting to do that for a long time and I just never did it. I've been wanting to do it for like years and I just never did it. And I'm like, you know what? I help so many people with guidance. Why not like do a channel like that? So I was going to do it on this channel, but like I said, it's going to be a lot of those kind of things. And maybe not everybody is into it, but I just don't want the content of my videos on this channel to get like, not watered down. It's not going to water down, but it's like all those videos will start populating my channel. So it might be harder to find these kind of videos. And I want to keep doing these kind of videos because it's a really important time for us right now as we're going into the new world, physical reality. And, if this kind of stuff helps you understand energy, I want to be able to do it for you. And so that's what I'm going to do. So please go to that channel, Understanding Your Life and Love. And I don't have any subscribers. So if you're my first subscriber, I don't know, I'll do something for you. I'll pray for you or something. I'll do something good. So go over there and subscribe and hit the bell, and then make sure you're subscribed to this channel. Make sure you hit that bell, because you will then get the notifications when I'm on live or when I have uploaded a video. And I am going to start doing more vlogs and talking more about these things that I talked about tonight. It's been really hard for me to get on here. I keep saying I want to make a video, but I've got had so many things going on in the last year since my sister passed away. It's been really, really hard for me to get my act together. I mean, I deal with my... All right, Stacy's the first subscriber. Woohoo! Um, it's been hard. It's been so hard. It's been so hard. She was, to me, she was my baby sister. She was almost 10 years younger than me. She should not have been the one to go. And it's just, I deal with my clients, and other than that, I'm just like, the move and all that other stuff. Anyway, thank you guys for being here, and thank you. Let's see, Clifton, peace and love to you. Barbara, thank you for encouraging you to believe the angels. It is life-changing. Bill, I love you. Andre, but what really are angels? Angels are beings of light. They help us. They are God's helpers. They can do so much to help, but you have to ask them. You have to give them permission and ask them for help. Archangel Michael helps with a lot. Do a search on my channel. There's how to communicate with angels. There's all kinds of angel videos. Let's see, who else is on here? Cynthia. Yes, pay attention, live from the heart. Luke, where do I get this stuff from? What makes it true or real? Answer that, please. Well, I get it because I'm tapped in. I get messages because I am a conduit to share this information with other people. And I have to admit, I've been leaving a lot to myself. There's a lot that I keep to myself because frankly, I think it's hard for me to even explain it if people aren't going to get it. Some of the stuff I share on my Cindy's Insiders Club. If you go on my website, cindyeyler.com, the link is in the description below. It's called Cindy's Insiders Club, and we meet twice a month, and I teach them things and I tell them things because they're with me every month, so they are more on that vibe of understanding of the stuff that I'm hearing. And then the things that I can share with you, I do share with you. But a lot of things, it's hard for me because I want to tell people, but I just feel like, how do I even, are they even going to get that? Oh, and I would like to, a plan for the future is I'm hoping to spend a couple months in India sooner rather than later. Let's see, who else? Wow, Stacy, thank you. Thank you for that donation. I didn't even know you could do that. I appreciate it. Carolyn, great to see you too. And who else is here? I don't want to miss anybody. Net Pathfinder, I don't know if you're still here, but hey, thank you. Anyway, thank you. Please watch my India video. It's so close to my heart. It was the most amazing spiritual journey I've ever led. We're going back in 2 years for a festival where the sadhus come from all over India to join in one place, and it's gonna be off the charts amazing. And if you want to be a part of that, you have over 2 years to get it together to do that. Contact me because I'm doing this by application. You don't have to be like at a certain level or understand things in a certain way. I just want to make sure that the group is compatible. That's what's important to me because I want to go and have an amazing time. The last group, when we went to India, it was amazing because we were so it was nothing but support, love, fun, and it just went perfect. Yay, Cynthia, you're my second subscriber. Awesome. So I'm going to be going on my other channel to do readings. If not tonight, tomorrow. But yeah, if you're interested in coming with us in 2022, India, most likely it's in March. They haven't announced the date of that festival yet, but it's usually around March, which I hope because I want to be there for Holi as well. That's when you throw all the colors. We had the best time with Holi. And so email me from my website, get on the list. You have a lot of time to make this happen. And let's go do this thing. Anyway, thank you, everyone. God bless you. Peace, angels, sending you guys all lots of love and lots of very nice vibes. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. And I'll